I remember my sister got her first camera. She used to plug up the AV cables to the TV, and we would use that as like a webcam and just have the camera, and we would just be playing there because we didn't have no SD card. We couldn't afford an SD card. We couldn't afford any way to actually record and get the stuff on the computer. We just had the cables that came with the camera to plug it in and be able to see ourselves off the TV, and that got into everything. Because now I think about it now, and I don't think I ever thought about this or thought about it until now you asked me a question, but that's what I do now. I get this little webcam and I'm plugging it up on the OBS and the stream and stuff like that. And it's based off of what my sister taught me. And then the music stuff, like the video, the camera, like, and as I got older and grew up, my mom's always believed in me, my sister always believed in me, and they gave me the tools needed to do what I needed to do. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it always gave me a safe outlet. So although I've had many inspirations in life, like my best friend Cameron Watkins growing up, making music with him, sharing that path with him from a young age. I think my sister was definitely a huge role model and a huge influence on my upbringing with music for sure.
Me and my nigga Cam, you know what I'm saying? We both been here recording, you know what I'm saying? We putting in work right now. We putting in work.
Oh, this right? Boy,
It's decent, man.
it's decent. Shit. And plus, we're gonna be here in the booth. So, are you recording already?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
But,
Yeah. History in the making right here, my nigga.
actually,
It's not dirty. But yeah. So what is this that you got going on? Like, what is breaking RoCo? Like, what's the theme?
My name is Jonathan Granja, and this is Breaking RoCo. I am the guy behind the camera. Growing up in Rutherford County, I guess you can say, was something that's, how you say it? Growing up in Rutherford County, you see the same things. And I remember when I was little, I used to always hear people saying, like, my brothers, my siblings, they were a little bit older than me. I remember used to run into friends and be like, man, I know you, such and such. We used to go to high school. Like, hey, I know you. Hey, you remember me? And I remember when I was little, I always was like, dang, when I grow up, man, I can't wait to have that feeling and to run into friends and be like, hey, man, you know me? Because it's called small town friendly. Everybody knows everybody around here. And so I just remember always hearing, stories about different people. And with it being such a small knit community, nothing can happen without somebody finding out. Nothing's gonna happen without somebody hearing about it. And I just always kept that in mind. And like we always live with the consensus of just like being mindful of who you are and your surroundings, where you grew up with. My dad was a preacher, so he was always on us to make sure that we left the right mentality, the right mindset on somebody, the right impression. Even if I was just holding the door for you for one time and that was the last time you see me, I wanted to make sure that you remembered, man, that was a good gentleman right there. He was a great man. So leaving an impression and leaving a mark on somebody was something that my parents instilled for me from a young age. They always told me, like, make sure nobody can ever say something bad about you. It don't matter who you are. It don't matter if you're somebody who just see me one time. I'm not going to give you the tools and ammo to speak against my character, Not that I care so much about what somebody has to say about me, but because I care about what my parents think about me, you know what I mean? I grew up I can't say with both parents, but up until the time that I did grow up with my parents, I grew up pretty blessed. At the age of 5 years old, I was without my dad. At the age of 13, I was without my mom. So at the age of 14, 13 years old, I was pretty much just running the streets, living with different friends, trying to stay where I could stay at. And I remember I found music and a microphone, and it changed everything for me. I picked up a microphone for the first time, and there was no looking back. From making music to marketing to directing to wedding videography to now even making a documentary, creativity was my outlet. That was my safe haven. As many kids around here have sports and stuff like that, this lens and this microphone was my safety. This was my place where I was able to make Rutherford County the place that I wanted it to be. I remember growing up in specific, there was a documentary called Beyond the County Lines or something like that. And I never actually watched it. It'd probably be a good thing to watch it now that I'm actually making a documentary. But I always heard things about how it talked about the corruptness inside of Rutherford County. And the narrative has always been, that this is a small town with not a lot of outlets, not a lot of resources, and not much to do. So I wanted to basically capture and highlight the fact that there is positive people in this town. There is positive outlets, whether it be people who are doing ministry work, people who are motivational speakers, people like Dada himself, who's behind the camera right now, who are in this, working with student athletes, trying to prepare them, getting them ready for the next level of sports. whether it be somebody like Desmond Stone, who is working hand in hand with athletes and making these really awesome reels for them. There are so many people in this community who are helping push forward the agenda of positivity, of success, and of growth. And I think until we're able to document that and have a communication about that and have some feedback, it's going to be really hard for these upcoming youth and athletes or creatives to be able to see themselves in that position. As somebody who grew up in this town, I would love to see more positive influence and more positive outlooks on the people who I'm around. 9 times out of 10, when I'm scrolling through my feed and I see people who look like me, it's because they're on a mugshot. It's because there's somebody trying to figure out who stole something from somebody's property. And that's the sad reality of the community that we live in. But I want to change that narrative and highlight the people in my community who inspired me to do the work that I do. The people who remind me that there is still lots of light and lots of hope and lots of love in small town Friendly. And until I can document that, until I can show that there is something like that, until somebody else can see what I seen growing up and be influenced to lead that same path, I don't think I can rest. So this is Breaking RoCo, and this is what it's about.
We about to kill this pour it out remix, you know. We ain't gonna let y'all see too much, cause you know y'all gotta hear the whole song. Y'all gotta hear the song, but y'all trying to cheat us out and listen to the other thing right now.
Cut a couple parts out, you know, so y'all can know what this was, you know.
Okay. History in the making, my niggas. Let's go. Y'all about to witness the damn Grammy-winning song. No, I'm kidding. Not Grammy-winning song. Well, one day though. We gonna get that, my nigga. We gonna get that, bitch. Okay. Let me close this door, cause we know the background sounds and shit. Okay, let's go.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I think I would have loved to have been able to run into my younger self at this point in time in my life. I would have loved to have seen little Johnny walking down the street with a little backpack trying to figure out where the hell we going, where we gonna eat, and how we're gonna get to the bus stop at 6 o'clock in the morning. I would love to find that kid who has that urge to just create, to be heard, to be felt, to be seen, to have the resources, to have the need, to have the support, whatever it may be. I would love to be able to find that person and just kind of show them the possibilities of what can be. I remember my teacher used to always tell me, you can be anything you want to do. And I used to always be like, man, get out of here with that. I've heard it so many times, but I think I heard it so many times that it finally started to sink in and make sense. Like it really clicked. Like when they say you can do anything you set your mind to, I think I'm a living example. If I could talk to my younger self and just kind of peek back a curtain and show him where he was going to end up and how I'd be here with multiple cameras, multiple lights, my microphone on a Monday night recording a video, I think I would just say start doing it. Start doing it. Don't listen to the criticism. Don't listen to I wouldn't listen to any of the naysayers. I wouldn't listen to any of the doubters, because the same people who used to doubt me when I was younger are going extremely out of their way to mimic the same game plan that I have now. That the envy soon turned to admiration. When you keep on going, when you keep at something, when you love something, when you actually do it with a full heart, it is very hard for somebody on the outside to look at you and be envious. And I've learned that when people have negative comments and they go out of their way to leave negative comments on the things that you do, especially when you have a craft or a hobby and ability, it speaks more on them than it does you as a creative. I often see a lot of hate comments and I can see right through them and see a person who has wished they could be in a creative outlet or a creative zone. A lot of those insecurities are pushed. So if there's anything that I could tell a younger self, is just to start and not stop, and never limit yourself. Never think, because I used to think I would never be able to produce. I used to think the way that somebody's mind thinks to put the piano here and the hi-hat, that's crazy. I'd never be able to do that. And now it's like secondhand nature. So I say never limit yourself and never think that you're not capable of doing something, because you're far more than capable of doing anything you set your mind to. And really the hardest part is just starting. You know, once you pick up that notebook, once you pick up that guitar, once you pick up that camera and you just go out there and do it, I mean, the rest is, so much easier. But actually getting yourself to the gym, actually getting yourself up, actually going to that job, that's the hardest part. But once you're there, you just don't stop, and you always find a way to improve. You always look at the glass as half full and not half empty. When you ask me my influences, I can't lie to you that a lot of people pop up into my head, whether it be like Jay Dilla or Nas or, you know, video works that I have seen from some directors. But there's one person that keeps on popping up to my head every single time that question is asked. And it might surprise a lot of people, but it's actually my sister. My sister actually had a big, huge role on everything that I do as far as creativity, the person who I am today, taking care of me and kind of guiding me. My sister got me my first camera. My sister got me my first microphone. Like, it was always my sister. When I was younger, even before I got into school, my sister would come home with ninth grade work, and she would just give it to me and be like, Jonathan, help me with my homework. And I was like 4 or 5. And I was like, I don't know how to do this. And I would just scribble some stuff in my sister, like, Jonathan, oh my God, you're so smart. I don't know how you do this. Like, and I don't know if she was gaslighting me or what was going on, but I still don't know. We're going to have to talk about that. I might have to call after this. But she made me feel like I was way smarter than I was. So when I finally got into school, I was looking at people like, brother, I know how to do ninth grade work. Like, I ain't even tripping on this. So I know that really put a lot into my confidence and made me feel, because mind you, in kindergarten up until 2nd grade, I didn't even speak a lick of English. I only spoke Spanish. So the confidence that I had to think that I was smarter than these kids and doing ninth grade work when I didn't even speak their language was crazy. But that confidence that I had. Then I remember in 2nd grade, I had a little crush with this little girl, and I remember my sister used to always recite lyrics and write down lyrics. So I remember one time I stole one of her little notepads and ended up taking the lyrics and just kind of changing a couple words out. And I gave it to this girl the next day at school, and she ripped that mug up and threw it. Shout out to you, because you made a lot. You stored up the pot that ended up being so. For my sister, really, because like even at the same time, I remember my sister got her first camera. She used to plug up the AV cables to the TV, and we would use that like a webcam and just have the camera, and we'd just be playing there because we didn't have no SD card. We couldn't afford an SD card. We couldn't afford any way to actually record and get the stuff on the computer. We just had the cables that came with the camera to plug it in and be able to see ourselves off the TV. And that got into everything, because now I think about it now. I don't think I ever thought about this or thought about it until now you asked me a question, but that's what I do now. I get this little webcam and I'm plugging it up on the OBS and the stream and stuff like that. And it's based off of what my sister taught me. And then the music stuff, like the video, the camera, like, and as I got older and grew up, my mom's always believed in me, my sister always believed in me, and they gave me the tools needed to do what I needed to do. And I ain't gonna lie to you, it always gave me a safe outlet. So although I've had many inspirations in life, like my best friend Cameron Watkins growing up, making music with him, sharing that path with him from a young age, I think my sister was definitely a huge role model and a huge influence on my upbringing with music, for sure. Anybody that takes something out of it, I hope they just take out the inspiration to just do them, to be them at the fullest, and to know no limit. My name is Jonathan Granja, and this is how I'm breaking RoCo.